What's up, guys? Samoan Fan 101 here, and this is my Lucha Underground review. Again, the show of the week. Hell yeah. Um, One little complaint about it, I have, but it's relatively minor in a sense. Not as nitpicky as last week's, but it's only a minor nitpick. It's only a nitpick, but uh, but it was just that. It was definitely a good show. With a lot of build up and an absolutely great main event. I will get to that. Mr. Water here keeps me healthy. Um, so, Lucha Underground this week. The show opened up with the debut of the last week's. It was built up last week. A woman by the name of Cobra Moon will make her debut in Lucha Underground. Cobra Moon obviously being a female wrestler, as we saw in the vignettes. Cobra Moon made her return this week against Bengala, who we saw last season near the end of the show, near the end of season 1, and on Lucha Underground. They had a match. They had another intergender match, and I'm gonna say right now, I do not like intergender matches unless they're done right. This is the case of an intergender match not done right. This made Cobra Moon made Bengala look like a complete chump. And Bengala's not that bad of a wrestler. He's actually a good wrestler. But Cobra Moon made Bengala look like a chump. On top of that, Cobra Moon, as good as she may be in the ring, didn't really impress me. All she really did was all she really did was do some slithery moves. Her finish looked fine. I'll say that. And she definitely has a unique look about her, being more like a snake, not so much a luchador, with the exception, of course, the mask. But my problem with the match was that it made Bengala look like a joke. And this is a problem that came from last season when Sexy Star would beat guys like Superfly, Marty the Moth Martinez, and even Pentagon Jr. in singles matches. The one that pissed me off the most was Pentagon Jr. He was on the rise of being a big single star, and all of a sudden we get this woman who beats him in 5 minutes. It's okay. I know there's this thing called believability that we have to suspend, like when Daniel Bryan beat all 3 members of Evolution in one night at WrestleMania 30, or him facing someone huge, like say a Kane or someone. But this goes beyond that. This makes other wrestlers. Basically, it's a female wrestler who gets over at the expense of another wrestler's credibility. She beat Superfly in 50 seconds one time. And it was like constantly beating Superfly. She beat Superfly twice. One in a mask versus mask match, and another in a and I think it was like a 50-second match for a medallion. For the medallions for the Gift of the Gods Championship. That was, that Fenix won at Ultima Lucha. So that's a problem. But other than that, it was a decent debut. She looks like an interesting character. Hopefully, the Lucha Underground will bring in more female wrestlers, so that way Cobra Moon can really have something to sink her teeth into. Yeah, that was basically that. Next, we got a video package of Aerostar. Who was very good back in season 1, is going to make his return in season 2. We get a video. The video package it's almost like a person like from thousands of years ago, almost, in, I believe it's like sand or dirt or something. The kid is writing a drawing, and then presumably the same person as an adult is talking about basically the tribe the tribes not being united in like 1,000 years, and Aerostar shows up next to a guy who looks very Native American or very like Incan, like an Inca person. So it's like, wait a minute, yellow guy with with flashy colors like Superman. Then you have an Inca person. That does not make sense. But with Lucha Underground, this is something that's to be expected. Um, so we have Aerostar, who not only can fly through the cosmos, but is also a time traveler. That's pretty awesome. But aside from that, it was a very good video package. Aerostar looked very good here. In terms of just how awesome. I guess how awesome the video package made him look. It looked like, oh shit, here comes this big star. He's gonna come back, and hell yeah, he is. He's gonna come back. He better come back. He looks like the shit. Next we had a match. Actually, no, it wasn't a match. It was a brief backstage segment between King Cuerno and Katrina, because earlier in the night, Fenix demanded that he wanted King Cuerno and he wanted his Gift of the Gods championship back. Katrina later on said, confronted King Cuerno, saying that you may have taken the Gift of the Gods championship, but you did not take out Fenix, like, for good. And basically her orders to Cuerno was, hey, you need to kill Fenix, and it will be in a last luchador standing match. Cuerno, and it looks like Cuerno's like, yeah, he's starting to get annoyed with Katrina's shit, but he still agreed to do it. So that's what match we got later in the night. More in the match later. After that, we got a match between Jack Evans and Drago. Now, some people don't like Jack Evans. Lundrick, for example, does not like Jack Evans because he's more of the high flyer. He doesn't do any actually in-ring. He doesn't do any real in-ring, professional wrestling moves. In other promotions, that actually is a problem. However, in a promotion like Lucha Underground, that can easily be masked, considering how many high flyers there are and what else he can do. Jack Evans and Drago faced off. People loved Drago. He hit a few of his moves. Jack Evans the same. Both of them looked very good here. Drago especially, considering the fact that he's 40 years old. And he's still working like he's about 10 years younger. With the exception of all the real fancy flips. Jack Evans, I think it was like a crucifix pin. He did like a crucifix pin on, or I don't know what it was. It was some kind of pin, but whatever the case, Jack Evans pinned Drago with one of his feet on the ropes, I think on the last count, to make sure he stayed down. And it would have been not so good here had the aftermath not happened. Jack Evans took the microphone out of Melissa Santos' hands, Melissa Santos being the announcer, like Lillian Garcia. He said that the winner of the match is the Dragon Slayer, Jack Evans. So now Jack Evans is starting to sink his teeth into something. He's starting to go on a roll. So let's see what happens from here on. I'm actually very enjoying this. Again, in other promotions, Jack Evans doing what he does would be a problem. Here in Lucha Underground, it's actually kind of a plus, and it can be masked. So let's see where he goes from here. After that, we got a Tejano video package. That's right, Tejano is returning from Lucha Underground Season 1. He got another video package, except this time it was him inside a bar, and he was actually speaking Spanish voiceover over the video package, saying that last time, I got embarrassed and the pride of Mexico was hurt by by Blue Demon Jr., Chavo Guerrero, and the crew. And I love this line here. This line that the line he said was perfect. The line that he said was, um, yeah, what was it? Yeah, the line that he said was the only thing that didn't infuriate me. The one thing you should not do is piss me off. And it showed him getting to a bar fight with two other luchadors, and he completely destroyed them. And I loved it. Tejano, according to the video package, will be returning to Lucha Underground next week. Let's see what he does. I can't wait. Um, I love Tejano. He's actually a very good in ring wrestler, as his matches with Alberto El Patron have obviously proven. They're very very good. So sorry about that. I just had some spaghetti. Prince Puma and Katrina were backstage, with Katrina showing up in Prince Puma's, I guess, his bathroom, and she mocked Conan for saying that the last thing Conan said while he was in the casket was, "I'm sorry." For those who don't know, Conan, previously in WCW and TNA, was Prince Puma's mentor in season 1, and he was basically Prince Puma's mouthpiece, uh, much like Paul Heyman to Brock Lesnar, because Puma did not speak at all. Uh, Conan, I believe in the third or second to last episode before the two part Ultima Lucha episodes, was attacked. Came to the aid of Prince Puma, only to be attacked by Katrina and Mil Muertes. He was put into a casket by the Disciples of Apocalypse. The Disciples of Death. Um, and was carried off in a casket, and that's the last we will ever see of Conan. Um, Afterwards, and this segment basically, mocked Conan, and Katrina mocked Conan, trying to get on Prince Puma's bad side. Uh, I don't know. I guess she's just trying to break him down psychologically, so he won't be ready to face Mil Muertes in the future. With that said, we had another match here, the third match. It was right after the segment. We had a last luchador standing match. Which, what is last luchador standing? It's basically a last man standing match. King Cuerno versus Fenix. These guys had another great match. These guys had a great match their first night in 7.5 minutes on the first episode of Lucha Underground Season 2. Now, and King Cuerno and Fenix have another match, and it's longer, it's got a couple more weapons, and it's just a lot more fun. I loved this match. It was a great match. In fact, I think it's even better than King Cuerno Phoenix Round 1 a few weeks ago. I think it's even better than that. It was a very, very good match. It was a great match. We saw a few good things. Cuerno used a ladder to hit Phoenix pretty much in the head, but he was not done yet. He went to go get a table. He put Phoenix on the table, but then Phoenix fought back. Actually, no, he didn't put Phoenix on the table. He tried to German suplex him on the table. Eventually, they were fighting. Now, what happened was where Dario Cueto's office used to be, and I believe it's now Katrina's office. Cuerno leaned the ladder against the wall of the office. Phoenix, to escape the German, went up the ladder. Cuerno went after him. Phoenix got on top of the office building, on like the roof part, I guess, and Cuerno, who was on top of the ladder, was kicked by Phoenix. The ladder was kicked over by Phoenix, and then Cuerno just tumbled down into the table from atop of the ladder, with the ladder that he was still holding. So Phoenix wins the match. He did not win the Gift of the Gods Championship. The Gift of the Gods Championship was not on the line. But it was a great match. better than their first match in my opinion, just a little bit. The first match has an edge in being a better in-ring wrestling match, but this was like a kind of like a spectacle. It was very good, still had some good in-ring wrestling stuff, and had other things as well. I loved it. And what a way to end the show in terms of matches. Now, the last part of the show was actually, it wasn't a segment with Katrina and somebody else. It wasn't a segment with Mil Muertes, who is still hurt with an injured arm, a broken arm, and was still watching all the matches. And he was also visibly, shaking just a little bit that Fenix was getting upper hand at various parts in the match. Something that Matt Striker was quick to point out. By the way, I love Vampiro and Matt Striker. They're a great commentary team. But okay, back to what I was saying. Last segment of the night was actually at a police station with a woman by the name of Captain Vasquez. I'm only saying that because she sat at a desk and that's what her her tagline said, like on the table. She was then talking with a cop. And it took me a couple minutes to realize this, but the cop she was talking to was actually Cortez Castro, a member of the crew, along with Mr. Cisco. Castro, I believe, and from what I heard online, the real name of the character is Ricky Reyes, Officer Ricky Reyes, but Castro, has basically been an undercover cop the whole time during season 1. So he's actually been a good guy in secret the whole time. That's actually a twist I did not see coming. I did not see any of that coming. Captain Vasquez says that, and because Cortez Castro was bringing up he was going on what was going on with the people after the Tejano match at Ultima Lucha. Blue Demon Jr. went back to Florida. Chavo Guerrero still running amok from what I hear, and all that crap. And he's trying to get all this information. And Captain Vasquez just doesn't give a shit. She only cares about one person, and that's Dario Cueto, who we know is gone from the temple by this point. And after what basically the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, bad way to say it. After making that clear, she said, the Cortez Castro said, "Hey, you want to know where he is? Nobody has seen Dario Cueto in months. I wanted to bring him in as soon as he had his brother kill Bale, because Bale was a third member of the crew who joined a little later on after the beginning of season 1, and he was killed by Dario Cueto's brother Matanza by basically having his head eaten alive." And Kira's Castro saying, "Hey, I wanted to bring this asshole in ever since he already killed Bale." So, and the woman just didn't give a shit, which made me think that she sounds like a total bitch. Okay, this is going on. The rambling is going on. She's sending in another cop with Castro. Who's the other cop? None other than wrestler Joey Ryan. And from the looks of it, he might be playing an asshole. So it's like, oh, so he's basically playing an asshole. Well, he does very good at playing an asshole. And she made it very clear. She wants one thing and one thing only, and that is to bring down Dario Cueto once and for all. And that's how this show ended. I loved Lucha Underground this week. Slight, knockoff. A slight, rough start with the Cobra Moon thing in the beginning of the show. But I loved the show. It was another great episode. It immediately won me back with the Aerostar video package. The Tejano video package was amazing. The other two matches were good. The third match was absolutely fantastic. The other, segments were very good, and the ending segment of the police station was basically made this out like there's a war going on. And this Captain Vasquez person sounds like a complete bitch who only wants to bring down Dario Cueto and doesn't care what she has to run through in order to get what she wants. So it was a great episode this week. Next week I'll bet your ass that it's going to be another great episode. So until then, guys, see ya.